Welcome to the next video. In this video, we'll just be going over the TradingView platform. So, TradingView is the tool or the platform that we will use in order to do our analysis every single day when we're marking up our charts. Now, most traders and most beginner traders don't know how to utilize this tool, and this is a really cool tool to use when analyzing the charts. So I'm going to show you step by step on how to go ahead and to use this tool to the best of your ability and to your advantage as well. Okay, so the first thing you want to do, of course, is to go over to tradingview.com and you want to create your account by just signing in with your email address. Okay, once you've done that, you'll come over to this chart over here. So the first thing you want to do is go ahead and create a floating toolbar. So what this means is you'll have access to your most used tools and you can move it around anywhere on the chart. So we're going to start by looking over here to our left. On the left, we'll see all these different icons, and if it is your first time using TradingView, you have no idea what they are. So I'm just going to go ahead and give you a breakdown of the most tools that I personally use. You can always adjust them as time goes on. You will see that there's certain tools that you won't use that much, and you can change them around and add your own personal favorite to it. So let's start. So at the top we have a little mouse. Okay, all you do is you see the little arrow. If you just click on it, it will give you a drop down. So you can choose anything that you want to use here. So if I want to use the cross, I'll click on the cross and now you'll see there's a cross on my screen. Everywhere where I move, there's a cross on my screen. But I'm going to go ahead and use the little arrow so that you can follow the screen and see exactly what I'm doing. So we're going to start adding our tools. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to click over here on the little arrow, get the drop down, and then we have this major list. So we don't need everything on here. We're just going to go ahead and choose the ones we will use the most. So of course we will use a trend line. So in order to add it to your toolbar, you're just going to click on the star. So when we click on that star, we can see over here our trend line was added. And if we click on these dots, a little hand appears, which means we can move it. So we can literally move it anywhere onto the chart. So if we're busy over here and we want quick access, we can move it here. If we want it out of the way, you can drag it to the bottom, top right corner, anywhere on your chart. So now we're going to go back and we're going to see what else do we need on this drop down. So I'm going to go ahead and add my horizontal lines that I can mark up zones. So I'm going to click on the star again and we can see there it appears. Then I'm going to add my arrow just so that I can go ahead and identify the trend of the market if I want the arrow to display on my chart. And then nothing further. I don't need anything else here. So now I'm just going to click on the next icon, the little arrow for the next drop down. And over here, the only thing that I'm going to use is my fib retracement. That is your Fibonacci tool. So you click on the star and it gets added over here. Then we go to the next one. I'm going to use my brush so that I can go ahead and draw on the chart to show you guys examples of things. And I'm also going to use my rectangle tool to draw up my support and resistance zone. So I'm going to add a star. And then my ellipse tool over here, I'm going to add that as well to mark off my touches on my trend line or to identify market structure with my higher highs and higher lows. I can go ahead and just highlight that. So I'm going to use that tool. Go down to the next one. Over here, I'm going to go ahead and add the text if I want to make any notes on my chart. I don't think I need anything else here. So I go to the next one. I'm not going to be using any patterns. And I go to my next one. I'm definitely going to be using my long position and my short position for when I take buys and sells. to mark off my stop loss and my take profits on the chart so that I can monitor my trade. So that's all that I'm using. So you just go ahead and click anywhere on the chart again, and you'll see here is your floating toolbar. So you can take it and you can move it anywhere you want. Now, before we go into depth with these functions on the toolbar and how to change settings, we're going to go ahead and have a look over here. So we can see on the top left, it says Euro USD dollar 4H. So that means we're on the Euro USD chart. So this is the Euro USD chart, and we're on the 4-hour time frame. Now, if you are trading and you want to change time frames, we need to have quick access to these things. So what we're going to do is on the 4-hour over here at the top, we're going to click on that and we're going to get another drop down. Now, the same concept applies. We're going to go ahead and add the stars to the time frames that we would like to trade. So I'm going to go ahead and add my 1 minute. I'm going to add my 5 minute just by clicking on the star. I'm going to add my 5 minute. I'm going to add my 15 minutes, my 30 minutes, 1 hour, 4 hours. I want to have a look at the daily chart as well, the weekly chart and the monthly chart. So those are my time frames that I will be using when analyzing the chart. I just added the stars to it. Click anywhere on your screen, and over here we can see our time frames. So if I just click on the 15 minute, the chart will automatically change to the 15-minute time frame. And what that means is that each candlestick represents 15 minutes. That means it took 15 minutes for the candle to open and close, each candlestick. Now we're going to move over. We're just going to go across over here. So we're going to go over here, and this shows candles. If we hover over it, it says candles. That means we're on the candlestick chart. And if you want to trade and do analysis with different types of charts, you can just go ahead and click on it, and you'll see all the different types of charts that you can use. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight my candles, because that's what I use, my candlesticks. And I also use a line chart. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight that as well. And click anywhere on the screen. And here I can see I have quick access. So I just click on the line chart and my chart changes over to a line chart. Click back onto the candlesticks and it changes back into the candlesticks. Quick access. Now over here, this is a cool function. Okay, not a lot of traders use it. I personally don't use it, and you need a paid version for this. So if you're on the paid version, you can go ahead and utilize this tool where you will just compare different prices. So for example, we're on Euro USD, right? If I click on compare, I want to compare the Euro USD to the GBP USD. So I want to click on that and I want to see the comparison. So I can see this line over here shows me the way that GBP USD is moving and the way that the Euro USD is moving. There's similar movements in the market, but if I'm trading these two pairs, I can monitor them and see how they correspond with each other. If you want to go ahead and remove it, over here to your left, if you just hover over it, you'll get the option with the eye where you can hide it, so it will be gone. Click on it again and it will reappear. You get your settings options, so you can change the style that you want to see it. So currently it's as a line, right? We see it as a line. If we want to change it to bars, we can, and we'll see them as bars. If you want to change them to candles, there we can see the candlesticks. So now when looking at it, we're looking at two charts, two different currencies on one chart. And we can see the similarities and compare the way that they are moving. And then go back to settings. You can change the colors. You can use your different styles. You can play around with these settings. You can change the name of it as well. Okay, but if you want to remove it, all you do is you press on this little X that says remove, and it will be removed from your chart. The next function on TradingView is our indicators. So this FX over here represents indicators. Now, we will be using a lot of indicators when trading just for confluence. So we click on the F and we'll see by built-ins, here is a whole lot of indicators. If we go to candlestick patterns, here's a whole lot of candlestick patterns as well, indicators for you. A public library, what other people has loaded onto TradingView that you can use, and then volume profile, your different types of volumes that you can use. So as an example, I'm going to go to built-ins, and if you're looking for a moving average, want to add a moving average onto your chart, all you do is you type over here, moving average, and it will pop up with all the different types of moving averages you want. All you do is you click on the star to add it to your favorites, if that's what you want. And then if you go over here to your favorites tab, you'll see the moving average over here. On the free version, you can add up to 3 indicators. So we have our moving average. So we go back, and now we want to add our moving average to the chart. This little drop down now appears next to our indicators, which represents our favorites. So we go ahead and click on that, and here we have access to our moving average. Now we want to add it to our chart. We just click on it, and the moving average will automatically appear, this blue line. Now, if you want to change the settings of the moving average, the same concept applies. You go over here, you go to your settings, but before we do that, if you want to look at your chart without the moving average, just hide it and it will be gone. Click on the eye again and it will reappear. We go to our settings, and over here we can change the style, which is the color. So let's say we make our moving average black. We can change the thickness of it. So let's say we change it to that. We can change the way the color is, if you want it darker or lighter. And then by inputs, over here, indicate the time frame. Do you want it to show on all of your charts, or do you just want it to show on a specific time frame? So if you only want the moving average to appear on your 5-minute chart, you will then just click your 5 minutes. If you only want it on your 15 minutes, only click 15 minutes. So when you move over to a different time frame, the moving average won't appear. But I'll keep mine same as charts. If I move across my different time frames, my black moving average will stay on the chart. Over here you can change the period, which is the length. So let's say we use a 200 moving average, and you can use the source, so you can apply to the open, the high, the close. All of these preferences, it's your own preference. You use it according to the way you trade. So we're using a 200 moving average just to determine the structure of the market, the trend. So we select OK. And now we can see our moving average on the chart. If we go to the 4 hour, our moving average will still be here. You can see our moving average. If we go to any time frame, the 5 minute, our moving average will still be here. And we can see our moving average. If we want to remove it, we go ahead and click on the X, and it's gone. But we'll still have access to it over here. Next thing on the list is fundamentals metrics for stocks. This is also with the paid version, but if you click on this, you can see here, all you do is you can get the information of this specific stock. So the Euro USD, if we want the total revenue of this currency pair, we can go ahead and click on it. If we want the balance sheet, cash flow, statistics. So let's say we go to income sheet and we want the total revenue. We can add it to our favorites. Over here we'll get the drop down, so we can see the total revenue. If we just want to go ahead and add it, we just click on it and it will be added to our chart automatically. Okay, so it won't appear here in this bottom indicator because we don't have access to it. If you have a paid version, you'll be able to access this, and it will give you the total revenue and show you how the pair has been performing. So let's go and remove it. All we do is we click on the X and it's gone. The next function that we have, okay, we won't be using the templates, or you can use the templates if you want to. If you click on the templates, you can see here's pre-loaded templates. You can add it to your favorites if you'd like to have quicker access to the templates. So here we have an oscillator, for example. So it gives us the description as well. It says it uses the volume, the stochastic RSI, relative strength index, commodity channel index. So if we click on that, it will automatically apply to our chart. So here we can see this is the volume, this is the stochastic, this is the RSI, and this is the CCI. And we can use this to analyze our chart with pre-loaded parameters if you want to. If you don't want this, you can go ahead and just click on the X over there to delete, or you can go over here and press the X to remove. So we're going to go ahead and remove these because we won't be using these. Like that. The volume over here as well, we want to remove. So we're going to right click on it and we're going to say remove. And the volume will be removed at the bottom. Next function we have is alerts. So here you can create an alert. Okay, so I'm just going to show you a shorter function, a shorter way to get access, a more accurate alert. So when I'm moving my mouse, you see this black over here, this black icon that's moving at the price. Let me just move this. So it's moving at current price. So if I want to create an alert, let's just move the chart. If I want to create an alert and I want to say if price comes to this area, I want to be notified so that I can know whether to take a buy or a sell based on my analysis. All I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this little plus and I will say add alert. So I'm going to go ahead and add my alert, and there you'll see the line pops up, creating an alert. So when price comes to this area, I will get notified. And you will also get the notifications onto your mobile device if you have TradingView. So you can mark up your charts in the morning, go ahead and go about your day. And when price comes to a certain level that you are anticipating, you will get an alert. You can go ahead and open up TradingView, check the momentum of the market, the momentum, and go ahead and place your trades. So now just to edit the alert, the way we want to edit. So we're just going to go ahead and right click on it and we're going to say edit. So a pop-up box will appear over here and it will give us the conditions. So if we want to know, get an alert whether it's crossing, it will alert us. If we want to know if it's crossing up, so if it's going above this alert level, crossing down, greater than. So you can go through all of these options and you can set your alert. So I will just say crossing. So when it crosses this level, I want to be notified. You can have it only once. I won't have it every time because I'm not going to be focusing on this area all the time. You can have your expiration date. So if you only want it at a certain time in the day, then you can go ahead and set that. And over here, alert actions, notify on app, and show pop-up. You can also send yourself an email. So the email that you registered to open your TradingView account, the email will be sent over there. And you can give the alert name, you can type in something, or message. So if your analysis is when you analyze a chart and you're waiting for price to come to this level and cross over because you want to take a buy, then you can say check chart to see if buy is available, just for example. So when you get your pop-up on your phone to notify you, it will remind you why you placed the alert. So you placed the alert to check to see if a buy is available at this current price. You just say save, and now your alert is saved. If you want to go ahead and remove your alert, you just right click and you say remove. Okay, now the coolest part about this is you'll be able to check it over here, your current alerts that you have as well. But I'm going to go ahead and remove this alert because we don't want the alert. And then it says, do you want to delete the alert for Euro USD? We say yes, and our alert is now deleted. And then the next thing will be our bar replay. This you can use on your 30-day free trial or on a paid version. So when you click on this, you're basically taking away a part of the chart. But I don't have access to this because I'm on the free version. So let's say we want to take away that part. See, I need to upgrade. Horizontal line will then appear here and you will be able to play back. So you can remove this whole section, whichever section you want to, and you can replay the chart. And that's a good way of backtesting as well. Just exit that. And then we move on. And over here we have our undo scroll button. So if we are scrolling through the market and we're all the way over here and we want to go back to current price, we can either click on this that says reset chart and it will take us back to current price, or if we scroll, can click undo scroll and it will move it step by step. So if there was a certain section that you were at that you want to go back to and you scroll too fast, you can just use that option like that. Okay, next thing is over here we will use your name. You can personalize it, so you can click on it and you can turn on auto save. So any analysis that you do, it will be saved every 10 minutes so that your chart doesn't reset. You can go ahead and rename it. You can make a copy. You can load a different chart on. You can just play around with these settings. Over here we have the settings, the gear icon for the chart. So if we click on that, we'll get a pop-up. And over here we can change everything that's on this chart. So when we start by symbols, we can change the body of the candle. The green shows for bullish and the red is for bearish. The borders of the candles, the colors if you want to change that, and the colors of the wicks if you want to change that. So I just leave mine standard. And then you can play with these settings if you want to see the high and low price lines, your bid and ask lines, which is these two lines over here, the time zones, precision. You can just go through these settings and you can play with these settings. And then status lines, so you can have your symbol, which is that symbol over there, show open market status, OHLC, that means the open, the high, the low, and the close value. So that we will have over here our open, our high, our low, and our close. That will give us the price, the opening price of the candle, the high of the candle, the low of the candle, and the close of the candle. And that will be of this previous candle over here. And then show buy and sell buttons. This will be if your broker is linked to TradingView. And you can just go ahead and play around with the settings. You can go through all of these settings to play around with it. Over here, the background, if you want a solid background, you can change that. If you want vertical grid lines, so these lines over here, if I want to get rid of these lines, I just change it to white because my background is white. So I'll just change that to white and now those grid lines are gone. If you want session breaks, so because we're on the 5 minutes, every 5 minutes there will be lines that will come across the screen to show us that's 5 minutes, that's 5 minutes. But I don't want no session breaks. And if you want a watermark is just showing you the title of the currency pair, which is this Euro USD 5 minutes. It shows that we're on our 5 minute chart. If you want to see the name of the pair on your chart, you can do that. I'll remove mine. and you can play around with all of these settings. Every setting you can play around with it. It's self-explanatory. And then the next thing we have is this option over here, which is full screen mode. So if we click on this, all our icons will disappear and we will have a full screen that you can do your analysis on. And if you want to get rid of the full screen, you just go ahead and hover there on top and the X will appear. Click on the X or click on escape on your keyboard. And once you do that, you will come back to your chart with all of your settings over here. Then we have this cool option, which is you can take a picture of your chart. So if you want to go ahead and keep a digital journal, so your befores and afters, you can click on that on the camera icon and you can either copy the link. So if you copy the link, it will say copy to clipboard. You can go ahead and send the link to anybody, and once they click on the link, it will show them this picture of your chart. You can either save your image. So if you click on save image, it will open up another tab, and all you do is you go ahead and right click. So here's the picture of the chart. You right click, save image as, and you save it onto your desktop. Okay, and we close it. Now we're going to move over to our right hand side. I'm not going to run through all of this because this is not that important, but I'll try my best to just quickly go through it. Okay, so we call this the burger menu. If we go ahead and click on that, we will see our watch list. Now you can see there's no currency pairs here, and a watch list basically means all the pairs you want to keep an eye on, you want to do analysis on, you want to check how the market is moving with those currency pairs. We're going to go ahead and click on the plus icon, and once we do, we'll get this pop-up with all these different types of markets. Okay, so we have the stock market, futures, Forex, CFD, crypto, index, and economy. Now, if we're trading just with the Forex, we can go ahead and search for a pair. So let's say let's say AUD USD. I typed wrong. AUD USD, the Australian dollar against the US dollar. If we just click on that, it will be added to our watch list over here. If we're looking for a certain stock, we just click on stocks and they say remove that, and we'll see all of our stocks. So if we want to go ahead and trade Apple, we click on Apple and it will be added to our watch list. That is how you add the pairs that you want to go ahead and check out, and you can move between the two. So currently we're on Euro USD. We just click on AUD USD and the chart will change, and we're now looking at the Australian dollar to the US dollar. If we want to change it to Apple, we can go ahead and now our chart will be on Apple. And this is the Apple stocks. So that's how you move between those different currency pairs that you want to trade. You can just switch between them like that. If you don't want to add a watch list, all you do is at the top over here, you click on it and you go to the pair that you want. GBP, JPY. Typing skills, GBP, JPY, we just click on that and it will change. It won't be added to our watch list, but it will be an instant chart. So that is also what you can do over there. If you want to highlight it to show the importance of the currency pair, all you do is you can click on this little label over here. If you click on the label, it will go ahead and give you these different colors, and you can choose the colors and arrange it by what you want. So I'll just keep mine on red because it's important. Then the next thing is this little alarm will show us our alerts. Now remember, we created an alert earlier on Euro USD. So once we create an alert, it will show us over here our current alerts that we have, our deleted alerts. So here we can see we have no alerts. We have no alerts set up that we're waiting for price to get to a certain area. Then over here, all of this is self-explanatory. News. So if we click on news, we'll get the news of certain pairs, what's happening. So GBP, JPY, because we are on this chart over here. And here we will get all the news that is impacting those currency pairs. Over here, data window. It just shows you the open, high, low, close of the current currency pair that you're on, the date and the time. Over here is our hot list. This will give you all the symbols and stuff of different currency pairs, exchanges, what is currently hot on the market if you want to trade them. If you click on it, it will just change your chart to that specific one. Okay. Then over here we have our calendar. So it will give you the forecast of all the news that is coming out at the time as well. It's the earnings calendar, so you can see what news will affect your currency pair that you are trading. You can keep up to date with the news. And then over here, ideas. So if you mark up your chart and you want to publish your ideas so that others can see it, you can go ahead and add it over here. And then of course here's a chat room and all of these things. So you can just go through this, play around with this. I don't really use it, but here you can see people are publishing the ideas, the analysis, and you can go ahead and check them out, see if yours correspond with theirs. But never ever change your analysis because of someone else's chart. You marked up your chart a certain way because that is what you saw happening in the market. Don't change your bias of a buy or sell because someone else's chart is not the same as yours. Trust your analysis. So that is basically it. That is how you use TradingView. Also, you will see that you can change from light to dark. So we're currently on the light version. If you click over here on this burger menu here, we can see that we have a dark color theme. So we can change it to the dark color theme, confirm it, and now we'll be on a black chart. So whatever's better on the eye for you can go ahead and do that. You can change it back to the light color theme. And over here you'll also have like what's new. They'll tell you what's new, and you can sign out and you can create shortcuts for yourself as well. Now we're just going to go back to this section of our toolbar. I'm just going to show you the basics. I'm going to show you on one specific thing and it applies to everything else. Okay, all of these tools, it applies to everything else. So a trend line, if you click on it, you mark up your trend line. That is your trend line, this yellow line over here. Once you click on it, you get this bar. Now what this bar is, it's quick access to the settings of your trend line. If you don't like the color, which is currently yellow, you click on the pencil and you can change the color to anything you want and it will change. Okay, so there we have our black trend line. If we don't like the thickness of it, we can change it. If you want it thicker, if you want it thinner, all depends on you. If you want to use your trend line but you want a dashed line, you click on that, or you click on a dotted line. It's completely up to you. And if you want to access the settings, of course, you can go ahead and you can go through all of these settings. You can add a text to your trend line. You can change the coordinates, which means the price that the trend line is ranging in, and the visibility, where you want your trend line to be seen. So those are things that you can play around with. And now the cool feature that I want you guys to use every single time you mark up your chart is this little lock over here. So this lock means if I click this lock, my trend line will now stay in place. I can't move it. You see, I can't move this trend line anywhere because it's locked. And it's a cool feature because when you're doing your analysis and you're moving across the chart like this, you might just click on your trend line by accident and move it, and then you struggle to get your trend line back into place. If you want to remove the lock because you want to move it around, just click on it again, and then you click on the lock, and now you can move your trend line wherever you want it. So the same concept applies for every other tool on here. Every other tool, if you want to delete it, just click remove. So you can use your Fibonacci tool, and same thing, the colors, settings, the lock, if you want to lock it, unlock it, and delete it. Every single thing applies, same settings apply, same rules apply to all of these tools. So I hope you guys had a good session on the TradingView. I hope you've learned in depth how to utilize this tool to the best of your ability to mark up your charts. It's a really cool platform to use, and I hope you guys have a lot of success in the trading journey. I'll see you on the next video.